The sky turned black as night in the middle of morning. The Void Eaters had arrived just as Mira warned. Their presence blocked out the sun like an eclipse that kept growing stronger. Kate stood on the roof of the military base where they had relocated. After her apartment became too small for their operation, she could feel the beacon energy flowing through her body, changing her. She could see things now that no human eye should be able to detect. The faint outline of Nixian ships in orbit, the rippling distortion where the Void Eaters moved through space beside her. Mira stood tall and proud, her star-filled eyes fixed on the darkening sky. More Nixian warriors had joined them, nearly 30 now. All female, all with the same constellation. Patterned skin, though each had unique armor designs and weapons. The humans were afraid Kate could sense it. The soldiers tried to hide it behind stern faces and weapons checks. But she could feel their fear like a living thing. Mira, we need to show them, Kate said. They need to see what we're fighting. The alien warrior nodded and raised her hand. A beam of light shot from her palm up into the sky, where it expanded into a massive hologram, visible to everyone on the base. The image showed the Void Eaters as they truly were. Not ships or creatures, but vast areas of nothingness, moving emptiness that devoured light and matter, holes in reality that consumed everything they touched. Below the hologram, soldiers gasped, some made religious gestures, others gripped their weapons tighter. Those are the Void Eaters. Mira announced, her voice carrying across the base. They cannot be killed because they are not alive. They cannot be destroyed because they are already empty. But they can be repelled. The hologram changed, showing Nixian ships firing beams of concentrated starlight at the darkness, pushing it back, containing it. The darkness writhed and twisted, but could not advance against the light. The Nixian weapons channel the energy of stars. Mira continued. We have modified your defense systems to work with ours. Together we can push the Void Eaters. Back General Foster stepped forward. How do we know this will work? Kate felt knowledge flowing into her mind, and she spoke without hesitation. The Void Eaters feed on chaos and entropy. They consume the natural order of things. Our weapons alone would just feed them. But the Nixian technology creates order from chaos, light from darkness. It disrupts their feeding process. The general looked at Kate with new respect. How long have you known about all this? Since yesterday, Kate admitted with a small smile. The beacon Mira carries, it allows me to understand. One of the Nixian warriors, Terra, approached. They come, she said, pointing to a spot. In the sky where the darkness seemed to pulse, Mira turned to Kate. The time has come, beacon bearer. Are you ready? Kate took a deep breath and nodded. Ready. Mira placed the teardrop-shaped beacon in Kate's hand. It pulsed with blue light that seemed to flow up her arm and across her body. For a moment she glowed like one of the Nixians, her skin showing faint patterns like stars. With the beacon active, Kate could sense every Nixian ship in orbit, every Earth defense station, every soldier on the base. She was the neural network connecting them all. She raised her hand and pointed to where the first attack would come. There, she said. They will strike there first. Mira gave commands in her crystal language, and the Nixian warriors took positions. Around the base, their weapons powered up, glowing with contained starlight. General Foster barked orders into her radio. Earth defenses online. All stations ready. Fire on my command. Kate stood in the center of it, all the beacon pulsing in time with her heartbeat. She could feel the Void Eaters now, their emptiness, their hunger, their desire to consume all life, all energy, all matter until nothing remained. The first attack came just as she predicted. A tendril of darkness shot down from the sky, aiming for the base's power generators. Now, Kate shouted. Nixian warriors fired beams of concentrated starlight at the darkness. The Earth defense systems activated, sending pulses of modified energy into the sky. The technologies worked in harmony, just as Mira had said they would. The darkness recoiled, writhing like a wounded snake. But more tendrils appeared, targeting different locations across the globe. Kate could sense them all. The beacon showed her everything. There, Kate pointed. Another attack. Beijing, another Moscow. Another Cape Town. Mira relayed the information to her warriors and to Earth Command. Each attack was met with combined resistance, human and Nixian working together. But the Void Eaters were persistent. The attacks came faster, more numerous. Kate struggled to keep track of them all. The beacon burned in her hand, growing hotter with each passing minute. A tendril of darkness slipped through their defenses, striking a power plant in Europe. Kate felt it like a physical blow. She gasped and stumbled. Mira caught her. "Are you well?" Kate nodded, though she felt weakened. "They got through one of the power plants in Europe. It's gone." Mira looked grim. "They feed on the energy. They grow stronger. How do we stop them?" Kate asked. "We must strike at their center," Mira said. "The place where they are most concentrated." The heart of their emptiness. Kate consulted the beacon, focusing her mind on finding this center. The beacon showed her a vision of Earth from space. The darkness surrounding, the planet concentrating in one area above the North Atlantic. "There," she said, pointing. "The center is there." Mira nodded. "That is where we must strike with everything we have. But the risk is great. If we fail, they will consume that energy too. We have to try," Kate said. "We have no choice." General Foster approached, looking battle-worn. "What do you need from us?" "Everything," Kate replied. "All defense systems, all power reserves focused on that one point." The general hesitated for a moment. "If we divert everything and fail, then Earth falls." Mira finished either way. "But this gives us a chance." Foster nodded and began giving orders. Nixian warriors prepared their most powerful weapons. The beacon in Kate's hand grew brighter. "I need to be closer," Kate said. "I need to direct the energy through the beacon." Mira looked concerned. "That is dangerous, beacon bearer. The energy required, I can handle it." Kate insisted. "I have to." Mira studied her for a long moment, then nodded. "Very well. We will take you to the strike point." One of the Nixian ships descended to the base. A transport craft with the same light-absorbing hull as their armor. Mira led Kate aboard, followed by 4 other warriors. The interior of the ship was unlike anything Kate had seen before. The walls seemed alive with the same constellation patterns as the Nixians. Skin control panels glowed with starlight, responding to touch and thought rather than buttons or switches. Kate stood in the center of the command deck, the beacon held before her. The ship rose rapidly into the sky, heading toward the concentration of darkness. Through the viewports, Kate could see the battle-raging Earth defense systems firing into the sky. Nixian ships engaging the tendrils of emptiness. Flashes of light against absolute darkness. The ship broke through the clouds, rising higher until the curve of Earth was visible below. The darkness was more concentrated here, a swirling mass of nothingness that hurt to look at. "We are in position," Mira announced. "All forces ready." Kate raised the beacon, feeling its power connecting to every weapon system, every defense grid, every Nixian ship. She was the conduit, the focusing lens, the connection between human and alien technology. "Earth forces report. Ready." General Foster said over the communication system. "All power diverted to primary weapons. Nixian fleet in position." Terra reported. "All warriors stand." Ready. Kate took a deep breath. Now she commanded. Light exploded from every direction. Earth defense systems, Nixian ships ground, based weapons. All focused on the single point Kate had identified. All channeled through the beacon in her hands. The beacon blazed with blue fire. The energy flowing through Kate was beyond anything a human body was meant to contain. She screamed as it burned through her veins, changed her, remade her from the inside out. The darkness writhed and twisted, trying to consume the energy, but there was too much, too focused. The Void Eaters began to retreat, pulling back from Earth. "More," Kate shouted, through the pain. "Keep firing." The ship's engines strained, the weapon systems overheated. Still the light poured forth, driving the darkness back. Kate felt herself changing. The beacon was altering her at the cellular level. Her skin began to shimmer, with faint constellation patterns. Her eyes burned as starlight filled them. The darkness retreated further, collapsing in on itself, as the combined energies of Earth and the Nixian fleet drove it away from the planet, and then suddenly it was gone. The Void Eaters fled back into deep space. leaving only the normal darkness of space behind. Silence fell across the communications. Earth forces, Nixian warriors all waiting. Breathless. Did we win someone? Asked. Kate lowered the beacon, which now seemed fused to her palm. She looked out at the stars, visible once more against the blackness of space. Not a victory, she said. Not yet, just a reprieve. They will return. Mira placed a hand on Kate's shoulder. But we will be ready. And now, Earth knows, the beacon has done its work. Kate looked down at her hands. The constellation patterns were faint but definitely there. Just like the Nixians. Her eyes caught her reflection in a control panel. They glowed with inner starlight. What happens to me now? She asked Mira, smiled. You are changed. Kate Morgan. Neither fully human nor Nixian, but something new. A bridge between our peoples. As the first beacon bearer from Earth, you will help prepare your world for what comes next. Kate nodded slowly, feeling the weight of that responsibility, yet also feeling strangely at peace with it. The beacon had chosen her for a reason. 3 months had passed since the first attack. Kate sat in the newly constructed Nixian Earth Command Center, built into a mountain range in Colorado. The room hummed with activity. Humans and aliens working side by side, monitoring space for any sign of the Void Eaters' return. Kate had changed in those months. Her skin now permanently bore the faint constellation patterns of the Nixians. Her eyes held starlight that glowed softly in darkness. The beacon had fused with her left palm, becoming part of her body. A teardrop of metal embedded in her flesh that pulsed with blue energy. She wore a modified version of Nixian armor designed to help channel the beacon's power without burning her out. The transformation was not complete, but she was no longer fully human either. Mira approached, her face serious. The training goes well, she said. Your warriors learn quickly. Kate nodded. The humans selected for beacon training were adapting to Nixian technology faster than expected. None had transformed as completely as Kate, but they all showed signs of change. Increased neural capacity, accelerated learning, enhanced perception. They have to learn quickly, Kate replied. The Void Eaters won't stay away forever. 20 humans had been chosen as potential beacon bearers, each showing neural patterns similar to Kate's, though none as compatible. They trained daily with Nixian warriors, learning to use the smaller beacons that had been brought from the alien fleet. Liz entered the command center holding a tablet. She had become Kate's chief science officer, coordinating between human researchers and Nixian technology experts. You need to see this, she said, handing the tablet to Kate. New readings from the deep space array. Kate studied the data, frowning. The energy signatures matched the Void Eaters, but they were different somehow. More organized, less chaotic. They are adapting, Mira said, looking over her shoulder. They learn from defeat. Kate stood. We need to prepare for another attack. Tell General Foster to put all Earth defenses on high alert. Liz nodded and hurried away. How long, Mira? Kate asked. The Nixian warrior considered. 3 days, perhaps 4. They move more slowly now, more cautiously. Kate felt the beacon warm in her palm. They needed more time. The new beacon bearers weren't ready. Earth defenses were still being upgraded with Nixian technology. We need to strike first, Kate said. We can't wait for them to attack. Mira looked surprised. That is not the way we have fought them before. Kate turned to her. The beacon shows me things. Mira, possibilities. Futures. If we wait for them to attack, we lose. Too many lives. Too much damage. Show me. Mira said. Kate held out her palm. The beacon glowed brighter, projecting images into the air. A vision of the coming attack. Void Eaters striking simultaneously across the globe. Earth defenses overwhelmed Nixian ships, destroyed one by one. Darkness consuming the planet. Then another vision. A preemptive strike. Earth and Nixian forces combined, attacking the Void Eaters before they reached the planet, driving them back into deep space. The difference? Mira asked. Kate closed her hand, the visions fading. 2 billion lives, she said. Mira was silent for a moment. Then she nodded. We will need the full fleet, all beacon bearers, all Earth weapons. Kate turned to the command center. Prepare for offensive operations, she called. Everyone to battle stations. The command center burst into activity. Humans and Nixians rushing to stations preparing for war. Liz returned, looking worried. The other beacon bearers aren't ready, she said. Only 5 have completed even basic training. They will have to be ready. Kate replied, We launch in 12 hours. What about you? Liz asked. The last time you channeled that much energy, it nearly killed you. Kate touched the beacon in her palm. I am stronger now. The changes are still happening. I can handle more energy. Liz looked unconvinced but nodded. Call me when you need the science team. After she left, Mira touched Kate's shoulder. The changes worry your friend, Kate sighed. They worry me too, but they are necessary. If I were still fully human, I couldn't do what needs to be done. You could return to your old life, Mira said after this battle. Perhaps the changes could be reversed. Kate shook her head. There is no going back, and I wouldn't want to. My old life seems like a dream now. Something that happened to someone else. I am needed here. The next 12 hours passed in a blur of preparation. Earth Defense Forces mobilized Nixian. Ships moved into attack formation. The 5 trained beacon bearers, each paired with a Nixian warrior. Kate and Mira would lead the assault. The plan was simple but dangerous. They would take the fight to the Void Eaters, hitting them before they could organize their attack. The beacons would channel energy from both Earth weapons and Nixian technology, focusing it on the creature's weak points. Kate stood on the bridge of the Nixian command ship. Her armor powered up the beacon in her palm, glowing brightly. She could sense the other beacon bearers through their connection. Each nervous but determined. All Earth forces report ready. General Foster announced through the communication system, Nixian fleet in position. Tara added, all warriors stand. Ready? Then we begin, Kate said. The fleet moved out from Earth orbit, accelerating toward deep space. The Void Eaters were detected near the orbit of Jupiter, still gathering strength for their attack. Kate felt the beacon growing warmer. The closer they got to the enemy, the more it responded. She could sense the emptiness ahead, the hunger, the desire to consume all light and life. The Nixian ships' cloaking systems kept them hidden as they approached. The element of surprise was crucial. When they were within range, Kate raised her hand. All ships dropped cloak fire. The space around them exploded with light as Earth and Nixian weapons fired together. The Void Eaters were caught unprepared, tendrils of darkness writhing as energy weapons struck them. Kate focused the beacon, channeling the energy, directing it to where the creatures were most vulnerable. The other beacon bearers did the same, each controlling a sector of the attack. For a moment, it seemed to be working. The Void Eaters recoiled, pulling back as the combined fleet pressed the attack. Then something changed. The darkness shifted, formed patterns Kate had never seen before. The Void Eaters were communicating, organizing. They had learned Mira. They are adapting. Kate warned too late. A massive wave of darkness surged toward the fleet, tendrils of emptiness striking ships, consuming energy shields failing. Kate felt a scream building inside her as Nixian and Earth vessels were destroyed. She poured more power through the beacon, trying to hold back the darkness. The other beacon bearers were struggling, the untrained humans overwhelmed by the energy flowing through them. One by one, their connections faltered. No, Kate shouted. Stay focused. Remember your training. But it was too much too. Soon they had not had time to adapt as she had. The beacons burned too hot in untransformed hands. We must retreat. Mira said, we are losing too many. Kate knew she was right. But retreat meant letting the Void Eaters continue their approach to Earth. We need more time, she said. Time for what Mira asked. Kate looked down at the beacon in her palm, pulsing in rhythm with her heart. For this, she said. Before Mira could stop her, Kate opened herself completely to the beacon, letting its power flow through her unrestricted. The constellation patterns on her skin blazed with light. Her eyes became twin stars. The pain was beyond anything she had felt before. Every cell in her body screamed as the energy transformed her, changed her, remade her. The beacon grew larger, spreading up her arm across her chest with a cry that was part agony, part power. Kate directed all that energy at the heart of the Void Eaters. A beam of pure starlight erupted from her body, cutting through the darkness like a blade. The Void Eaters recoiled. The darkness parted where her light touched it, unable to consume this new energy. This ordered chaos. Kate. Myra's voice seemed distant, far away. Kate could not answer, could not stop. The energy was too much, too powerful. She was becoming something else, something new. Neither human nor Nixian, but a force of pure starlight. The Starbreaker. The darkness retreated, but not far enough. Kate pushed harder, forcing more energy through her transformed body. The ship around her began to strain, metal groaning as her power affected its systems. Mira shouted orders. The bridge crew evacuated, all but Mira, who stayed beside Kate. "You must stop," she pleaded. "You will burn out. You will die." Kate turned to her friend, her eyes now pure light. Her voice when she spoke echoed with strange harmonies. "Not die," she said, "transform." The energy peaked. A pulse of starlight exploded outward from Kate's body, expanding in a perfect sphere. It washed over the Void Eaters, driving them back farther than any weapon had before. The darkness scattered, fleeing into the depths of space. And then the energy was gone. Kate collapsed to the deck, the beacon in her palm dark for the first time since she had found it. The constellation patterns on her skin faded to nearly invisible. Her eyes returned to almost human, though still holding traces of starlight. Mira knelt beside her, lifting her gently. "Kate, Kate. Can you hear me?" Kate opened her eyes slowly. "Did it work?" "Yes," Mira said with wonder. "You drove them back farther than we have ever managed. They flee to the outer system." Kate tried to sit up, but her body would not respond. "The beacon," she whispered, looking at her palm. "It is still there," Mira assured her. "But dormant. Recovering as you must recover. Medical teams arrived, Nixian healers and human doctors working together to stabilize Kate. Her body was changed at a fundamental level. No longer human, but not quite Nixian. A hybrid of both with something else added. Something new as they carried her to the medical bay. Kate looked out a viewport at the stars. The darkness was gone for now, but she knew it would return. The Void Eaters were patient. They would gather strength and come again. Kate floated in the healing chamber, her body suspended in glowing liquid that sparkled like liquid stars. The Nixian medical technology had kept her alive after her transformation, but recovery was slow. 6 weeks had passed since the battle. The door to the chamber slid open and Mira entered. Her face was grim with worry. She approached the tank, placing her hand against the transparent wall. Kate opened her eyes. They glowed more brightly now, permanent stars in human-shaped form. The constellation patterns across her skin were deeper, more defined. She was becoming less human with each passing day. The liquid drained and Kate stepped out of the tank. Her movements were graceful, fluid, like she was still floating. A simple white medical gown covered her transformed body. "How do you feel?" Mira asked. "Different," Kate replied. Her voice had changed too, carrying harmonics that seemed to echo with starlight. Strong, but strange. The beacon in her palm pulsed softly in time with her heart. "The doctors say, your cellular structure continues to change," Mira said. "You are becoming something new. Something neither human nor Nixian." Kate nodded. "I can feel it. The beacon is remaking me. There are others in my mind now. Voices. Knowledge from past beacon bearers." This had been happening more frequently. Memories and knowledge flooding into her mind. Images of other worlds, other battles against the Void Eaters. The history of the Nixian people. Their long war against the darkness. Have they returned? Kate asked on. Yet Mira replied. But our scouts detect movement in the outer system. They gather, rebuild. They will return. Kate walked to the window, looking out at the mountain landscape beyond. The Nixian Earth Command Center had expanded since the battle. More buildings, more ships, more combined technology. Earth was preparing for war on a scale never before seen. And the other beacon bearers. Recovering Mira said, they experienced changes similar to yours, though less extreme. None opened themselves completely to the beacon as you did. They will be ready next time. Kate touched the window glass. Her reflection showed how far she had come from the botanist who found a strange device in a crashed meteorite. Her eyes like twin stars, her skin carrying the patterns of distant constellations, her very cells now part beacon, part human, part something else entirely. I need to see them, Kate said. Mira nodded. We thought you might. The training center has been prepared. They walked through the command center. Humans and Nixians moving aside with respectful nods. Some looked at Kate with awe, others with fear. Her transformation had become a symbol to both species, a sign of what was possible when humans and Nixians worked together. The training center was a large, domed building filled with beacon technology. Holographic displays showed star systems and void movements. Simulation chambers allowed beacon bearers to practice without risk. 5 humans stood in a circle, each with a smaller version of Kate's beacon, embedded in their palms. Their skin showed faint constellation patterns, their eyes held hints of starlight. The changes had begun in all of them: Kelly, Amy, Diane, Michelle, and Lauren. The 5 who had fought alongside Kate in the battle. Each chosen for their neural patterns, each now changing as Kate had changed. They turned as she entered, their faces lighting up with recognition. It's true, Kelly said. You survived. Kate smiled. It takes more than the void to kill me. They gathered around her, asking questions, touching her arm, feeling the energy that now radiated from her body. They were like siblings now, all changing together, all part of something greater than themselves. I need to know if you're ready, Kate said. The Void Eaters will return sooner than we expect. They adapt, they learn. We train every day, Diane replied. We are stronger than before, but not strong enough. Kate thought, looking at their partial transformations. They had not surrendered themselves to the beacon as she had. They still tried to remain human. Show me, Kate said. They moved to the center of the training area, each activating their beacon, each channeling energy in the ways Nixian warriors had taught them. The air hummed with power. Light danced between them, forming patterns. Shields, weapons. Kate watched critically. They were more coordinated than before, more in tune with the beacons and with each other, but still holding back, still afraid of what they might become. The Void. Eaters won't hesitate, Kate said. Stepping into the circle, they won't hold back. She raised her hand, the beacon blazing to life. A surge of pure starlight erupted from her palm, dwarfing their combined efforts. The 5 stepped back, eyes wide. That is what we face. Kate continued. That is what we must become. I know you're afraid, I was too, but the beacon doesn't destroy you, it transforms you. It makes you more. Lauren, the youngest of the 5, looked at her palm where her beacon pulsed. Will we become like you? In time, Kate said. If you accept it. If you stop fighting the change. They looked at each other, uncertainty in their faces before they could respond. Alarms blared throughout the complex. Voice came over the speakers. All personnel to battle stations. Void activity detected approaching Earth. Orbit. Kate turned to Mira. They weren't supposed to return so soon. They have adapted faster than we predicted. Mira replied. The 6 beacon bearers rushed to the command center. General Foster was already there, coordinating Earth defenses. Report, Kate demanded. Foster looked up, her face grim. They appeared without warning. No approach detected. No buildup. They just appeared in Earth. Orbit. How is that possible? Kate asked. The Void Eaters had never shown the ability to teleport before. We don't know, Foster replied, but they're different somehow. More organized. More focused. Kate turned to the holographic display. The image showed Earth surrounded by patches of absolute darkness. The Void Eaters had formed a pattern around the planet, a net of emptiness that was slowly tightening. They are targeting major cities, Mira said. They learned from last time. No gradual approach, no warning. They strike at our centers of population. Kate felt cold fear in her stomach. Earth wasn't ready. The defenses weren't complete. The beacon bearers weren't fully trained. We need to evacuate the cities, Kate said, too late. Foster replied. They are already attacking. The display showed tendrils of darkness descending toward major population centers. Beijing, New York, London, Tokyo, Delhi, Moscow. Darkness consuming light, consuming life. The Nixian fleet is moving to intercept, Terra announced. But they are spread too thin. Kate looked at the 5 beacon bearers beside her. I need you with me. They nodded, determination replacing fear. What are you going to do? Foster asked. The only thing we can, Kate replied. We become what the beacon intended. She led the 5 to the roof of the command center, where a Nixian transport waited. The ship would take them to low Earth orbit where they could channel the beacon's power most effectively. As they boarded, Kate felt the beacon in her palm growing warmer. It sensed the void. It prepared for battle. The ship rose rapidly, breaking through clouds, accelerating toward space. Below them, the darkness spread across cities, across continents. Earth defense systems fired desperately, but the Void Eaters had adapted. Their new form was resistant to the weapons that had worked before. In orbit, Kate could see the full extent of the attack. The darkness surrounding Earth was nearly complete. The Nixian fleet fought valiantly, but they were outnumbered. The Void Eaters had brought their full strength. This time, Kate turned to the 5 beacon bearers. There is no more time for training. No more time. For fear, you must become what I am. What the beacon wants you to be. They stood in a circle on the ship's observation deck, their beacons pulsing in unison. How Kelly asked. Open yourselves, Kate said. Let the beacon in. Let it change you. Transform you only. Then will we have the power to drive them back. The 5 looked at each other. Then at the Earth below, where darkness consumed their homes, their families, everything they had ever known. Lauren was the first to step forward. I am ready, she said. The others followed one by one, each making the choice, each accepting what must come. Kate stood in the center of their circle, her beacon blazing with blue fire. Follow me, she said, and together we will break the stars. She opened herself to the beacon completely, letting its power flow through her unrestrained. The constellation patterns on her skin flared to life. Her eyes became pure starlight. Her voice, when she spoke, carried harmonies of 1,000 distant suns. Let go, she said to the 5. Let the beacon remake you. One by one, they surrendered to the transformation. Kelly. First, then Amy, Diane, Michelle, finally Lauren. Their skin blazed with constellation patterns, their eyes filled with stars, their bodies changing at the cellular level. The ship around them groaned as energy built up, metal warped, glass cracked. The Nixian crew evacuated, leaving the 6 beacon bearers alone with their transformation. Through the viewport, Kate could see the darkness pressing closer. The Void Eaters, sensing the power, building within the ship, targeting it specifically. Now Kate called, join with me. The 6 joined hands, forming a perfect circle. Energy flowed between them. The beacons pulsed in perfect harmony. Their voices, when they spoke, were one voice. Their minds, one mind. We are the Starbreakers, they said together. We are the light against the void. Energy exploded outward from their circle. A perfect sphere of starlight expanding in all directions. It washed over the darkness, driving it back, burning it away. Wherever it touched, the Void Eaters recoiled, tried to flee, but the light followed them, hunted them. Kate felt herself becoming something beyond physical form. The others were with her, their consciousnesses merging, becoming a single entity of pure energy, pure starlight. The ship around them disintegrated, unable to contain what they had become. 1 year had passed since the transformation, Kate stood at the edge of the lunar base watching Earth rotate slowly in the blackness of space. Her form shifted constantly between human appearance and pure starlight. The control had come with practice, the ability to move between forms as needed. The Starbreakers had become legends on Earth, beings of light who had saved humanity from the darkness. Some worshipped them as angels, others feared them as harbingers of change. Both were partly right. Earth had changed in the year since the Void Eaters' attack. Nixian technology had been integrated into human society. New cities rose with architecture that mirrored the constellation patterns. The alliance between species had grown stronger, deeper. A new civilization was emerging, neither fully human nor fully alien. Kate sensed Mira before she saw her. The Nixian warrior approached across the lunar surface, no longer needing a suit, just as Kate did not. Their physiologies had adapted to survive. In space, the Council is waiting, Mira said. Kate nodded. The Galactic Council formed of human leaders, Nixian elders, and the 6 Starbreakers. They governed the alliance, made decisions that would affect both species for generations to come. Kate followed Mira to the council chamber, a dome of transparent material that allowed the stars to be seen from all sides. 12 beings sat in a circle, 6 humans, 6 Nixians. The Starbreakers would make 13, a number of power in old Earth mythology. Kate took her place in the circle, Lauren, Kelly, Diane, Michelle, and Amy joining her. They had mastered their new forms as she had, each able to appear human when needed, each carrying the power of stars within them. General Foster, now Earth Alliance Commander, spoke first. The Void detectors have been quiet for 3 months. No sign of the Void Eaters anywhere in the solar system. That does not mean they are gone, Kate said. They retreat. They rebuild. They adapt. They always return. Terra now, Fleet Commander of the Nixian forces, nodded. The outer beacons have detected fluctuations in the Andromeda Galaxy. The Void Eaters may be gathering there too far to threaten us directly, said one of the human counselors, a woman named Eleanor who represented the Eastern Earth Alliance. For now, Kate replied. But distance means little to them. Once they have gathered enough strength, they can cross galaxies in moments. We saw that in the last attack. The council chamber fell silent, all remembering the day the Void Eaters had appeared without warning in Earth orbit, how close the planet had come to consumption. What do you recommend? Asked the Nixian elder Sarah. Her star-filled eyes fixed on Kate. Kate stood moving to the center of the chamber, her form shifting subtly between human and starlight. We cannot wait for them to attack again. We must take the fight to them. Find them where they gather. Destroy them before they can return. Some of the human counselors looked uncomfortable. Eleanor spoke. What you suggest is a preemptive strike. An offensive war. It has always been war, Kate replied. The Void Eaters do not negotiate, do not compromise. They consume, they destroy. They are the absence of all life, all light. We either fight them where they gather, or we fight them here, again and again until one day we lose. Foster leaned forward. How would we even reach the Andromeda Galaxy? Our ships, even with Nixian technology, would take years. The Starbreakers would go, Kate said. We can travel between stars, without ships, without time. The beacons allow us to move through space in ways your technology cannot. The council erupted in debate, humans arguing with Nixians about risks and ethics. Starbreakers listening silently. Kate raised her hand and starlight flared from her palm, silencing the room. We were created for this purpose, she said. The beacons, the transformation. Everything that has happened has prepared us for this moment. We will find the Void Eaters. We will end this war. Foster looked at her with concern. You are still partly human. Kate, we can't lose you. Any of you, Kate smiled, her eyes flaring with starlight. We stopped being fully human the moment we accepted the beacons. But we still fight for humanity, for Earth, for all worlds that still shine with light. The council voted. 9 in favor, 4 against. The Starbreakers would go to Andromeda. They would find the Void Eaters. They would end the war once and for all, after the council. Kate stood on the lunar surface looking up at the stars. The others joined her, forming their circle, a habit, now a comfort. Are we ready for this? Diane asked. Kate looked at each of them. Kelly, the scientist who had been studying dark matter before the beacon. Amy, the soldier who had fought in Earth's wars. Michelle, the teacher who had taught children about the stars. Lauren, the engineer who had built bridges and now built connections between species. Diane, the doctor who had healed bodies and now would heal worlds. We were born ready, Kate said. The beacons chose us for this moment. They joined hands, their form shifting fully to starlight. The constellation patterns that had once been faint on human skin, now defining their very essence. The beacons in their palms pulsing as one together. They rose from the lunar surface. No ships needed, no technology but that which they had become. Their consciousness expanded, reaching out across space, across time. Finding the path to Andromeda. The journey that would have taken ships millennia took. The Starbreakers moments. They moved not through space but through the connections between stars. The pathways the beacons had always known, Andromeda opened before them. A spiral galaxy of beauty and light. But within it, darkness gathered, the void. Eaters were there, consuming stars, building strength for their return to the Milky Way, for their final assault on Earth. The Starbreakers observed unseen. They saw what the Void Eaters had become, how they had adapted, evolved, changed from the formless darkness they had once been. Now they had structure, purpose, a hive mind directing their consumption. They feed on an entire sector, Kate observed. The darkness spreading across hundreds of star systems. We cannot fight them all, Lauren said. They are. Too many, too strong, we don't have to, Kate replied. We strike at the center. The hive mind. The consciousness that directs them. The six moved through the galaxy unseen by the darkness, following the patterns of consumption, back to their source. The heart of the void. They found it at last. A massive concentration of darkness surrounding a dying star. The original Void Eater. The first of its kind, from which all others had spawned. It sensed them as they approached. The darkness shifted, formed patterns. The star died, its last light consumed, and in that consumption the Void Eater spoke. Starbreakers. The voice was not sound but absence, not words, but the spaces between words. We have waited for you. You know us. Kate replied, her consciousness merging, with the others becoming the collective Starbreaker. We know what you were. The Void answered. What you will become. What all things become in the end. Emptiness. Void. Darkness. It is the natural state of the universe. Entropy claims all. Not while we exist, Kate answered. Light against dark, life against emptiness, creation against entropy. We are the balance, there is no balance. The void pulsed. Darkness always wins. The stars burn out. The light fades. All becomes void in the end. We merely hasten the inevitable. The Starbreakers formed their circle even here in the heart of another galaxy. Their beacons pulsing with the light of 1,000 stars. If that is true, Kate said, then why do you fear us? The darkness writhed. If stars must die, if light must fade, if all must return to the void, then we choose how and when. The Starbreakers shifted closer to the center of darkness. You consume because you fear, Kate said, not because it is inevitable. You destroy because you cannot create. The darkness pulsed with something like anger. We are the end of all things. We are what waits when the last star dies. Then you wait in vain, Lauren said, because we will light new stars. The Starbreakers joined fully their 6 consciousnesses, becoming truly one. Their beacons no longer objects but part of their essence. The light they had become concentrated, focused. The void recoiled, tendrils of darkness pulling back. What are you doing? We are breaking the stars. Kate answered, her voice, all their voices, and remaking them. The power built within them beyond what they had wielded on Earth. Beyond what they had become in that first transformation. The beacons had prepared them for this moment, the final evolution. From Starbreakers to Star Makers, the light, exploded outward from their circle, but not destroying. Not burning away, instead transforming. The darkness touched by their light began to change. The emptiness filled with possibility. The void screamed not in pain, but in fear, as its very nature was altered. The starbreakers poured their essence into the heart of darkness, filling emptiness with light, replacing consumption with creation. The transformation spread outward from the center of the void to its edges, from the heart of the hive. Mine to the farthest tendrils, darkness became light. Emptiness became fullness. Death became life. And in that moment, Kate understood what the beacons had always intended. Not warriors, but creators. Not breakers, but makers. The final purpose of their transformation, the void that had been the heart of the Void Eaters, collapsed in on itself. And where darkness had been, a new star formed, bright and hot, and full of life. The 6 star breakers separated, each whole again, each forever changed. They floated before the newborn star, watching as its light spread outward. The darkness that had consumed 100 systems now replaced with 100 new stars. It is done. Lauren whispered. Not done. Kate said. Looking at the galaxy spread before them where patches of darkness still remained but begun, we have found our purpose, not just to fight the void, but to fill it, to create where they would destroy, to light the darkness. The alien warrior stood before Kate with eyes that seemed to glow with ancient starlight. Her skin shimmered with patterns that looked like constellations moving across her tall, muscular form. She towered over Kate by at least 2 feet, her presence filling the small apartment living room. Kate swallowed hard. She had never meant to summon anything when she found that strange device in the crashed meteorite. But here this being was standing in her living room, looking at her, with those unnerving, star-filled eyes. The alien tilted her head, studying Kate with quiet intensity. She wore armor that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, except for strange symbols etched along its edges that pulsed with a soft blue glow, the same color as the device Kate had activated. The warrior spoke, her voice carrying an accent that sounded like wind through crystal. My name is Mira, war leader of the Nixian fleet. You have activated the beacon. Human Kate stepped back, bumping into her couch, and I didn't mean to, I just found this thing and touched it. She held up the small metallic object, which now pulsed with gentle blue light. It was shaped like a teardrop, with swirling patterns that seemed to move when you weren't looking directly at them. Mira reached out with long fingers, each tipped with what looked like tiny stars instead of fingernails. She took the device from Kate, her touch careful, almost reverent. You do not understand what you have done, Mira said. The beacons are only meant to be activated in times of great peril. You have signaled to my people that Earth requires salvation. Kate felt her heart racing. Was this alien saying what she thought she was saying? Salvation from what? From the Void Eaters. Mira replied, they consume worlds, drain suns of energy, leave only emptiness behind. They have been moving through this sector of your galaxy for centuries. We have been hunting them. Kate sank onto the couch. This was too much to process in one evening. She was a botanist, not some chosen one meant to save humanity. She spent her days studying plant samples and trying to pay off her student loans, not dealing with alien warriors and world-ending threats. I think there has been a mistake, she said. I just found that thing. I don't know anything about aliens or void things. Mira made a sound that might have been a laugh. Beacon bearers are never chosen by knowledge but by potential. Your species is young but fierce. We have watched humans for generations. Your adaptability is remarkable. Your will to survive unmatched. Kate looked up. Why me then? There are stronger people, braver people. Mira knelt before her, bringing those star-filled eyes level with Kate's own. The beacon responds only to those with the correct neural patterns. It saw something in you. Kate Morgan. Something that resonates with our kind. A mind that can bridge between human and Nixian. Thought, how do you know my name? Kate asked, feeling a chill run down her spine. Mira tapped her temple. The beacon shares data. It has told me much about you. Kate felt exposed, vulnerable. Was her whole life an open book to this alien warrior? She wrapped her arms around herself, wishing she had worn something more impressive than sweatpants and her old university hoodie for her first alien encounter. Your world is in danger, Mira continued. 2 rotations of your planet and the Void Eaters will be here. They travel invisibly between the stars until they strike. They destroyed my homeworld when I was young. Only those of us already traveling between stars survived. Kate stood suddenly, anger replacing fear. Look, I didn't sign up for this. I can't save the world. I'm just a normal person with plant samples and student loans. Mira stood as well, towering over Kate. You mistake me, human. I do not need you to fight. I need you to communicate. Your mind can help translate between my fleet and your world leaders. Without cooperation, your planet will be consumed. Low hum filled the apartment, and Kate glanced toward the window. Several lights now hovered in the night sky, growing larger. My warriors arrive. Mira said, There is no more time for debate. The beacon has chosen you. The stars have aligned. Will you help us save your world? Kate stared at the lights. She thought of her family, her friends, everything she had ever known. She thought of all the people who had no idea what was coming. What do I need to do? She asked. Mira smiled, revealing teeth like polished silver. Within you is the capacity to understand our technology more deeply than most humans. The beacon saw this trait. You will serve as conduit between our fleet and your military leaders. Kate nodded slowly. I guess I can try. Mira placed a hand on Kate's shoulder, sending a strange, tingling sensation down her arm. You will do more than try, Kate Morgan. You will succeed. Your species depends on it. Outside, the lights grew brighter as more Nixian ships descended through the atmosphere. Their arrival would not go unnoticed. Kate could already hear sirens in the distance. Mira touched a panel on her armor, and a holographic display sprang to life, showing Earth and a dark mass approaching from beyond. Mars, the Void Eaters. They come. Kate stared at the display, feeling her life changing with each passing second. She was now part of something larger than herself, larger than humanity. She was the bridge between 2 species, fighting to save a planet. She took a deep breath and asked, What happens now? Now we prepare for war. Mira answered. And you, Kate Morgan, will help us win it. Kate felt a strange calmness settle over her. She had always been good at solving problems, at finding connections between seemingly unrelated things. Perhaps that was why the beacon had chosen her. I need to call someone, Kate said. My friend Liz works at NASA. She might be able to help us make contact with the right people. Mira nodded. The more allies, the better. The Void Eaters are not easily defeated. As Kate reached for her phone, Mira touched her arm once more. There is something else you should know. The beacon does more than communicate. It changes its bearer. You may begin to experience new abilities. Enhanced perception. Accelerated learning. Kate paused. What kind of changes? Nothing that will harm you, Mira assured her, but you will become more than you were. The beacon prepares its bearer for what lies ahead. Kate looked down at her hands, wondering if they already looked different somehow. Well, I guess that's just one more impossible thing to accept today, Mira smiled again. You adapt quickly, human. That is why your species has hope. Kate made the call to Liz, trying to sound calm as she explained that aliens had arrived and were requesting immediate contact with Earth authorities. To her surprise, Liz believed her immediately NASA had already detected the approaching ships. Within hours, Kate's apartment became an impromptu command center. Military officials, NASA scientists, and government agents filled her living room, all staring with varying degrees of suspicion and awe at Mira and the 3 other Nixian warriors who had joined her. They were all female like Mira, with the same star-filled eyes and constellation-patterned skin, though their armor bore different markings. Each carried weapons that looked like they were made from captured starlight. Kate found herself translating concepts she barely understood herself, yet somehow the knowledge flowed through her as if she had studied Nixian technology for years. She explained weapon systems, shield frequencies, energy patterns that could disrupt the Void Eaters. The Void Eaters will be here by morning, Mira explained through Kate. They cannot be negotiated with, cannot be reasoned with. They consume all energy in their path, leaving only cold dead matter behind. How do we fight them? Asked General Diane Foster, her face grim in the blue glow of the Nixian holograms. Mira activated another display, this time showing strange crystalline ships. Their technology disrupts the Void Eaters' feeding process, but we need your planet's defense systems calibrated to work with ours. A unified attack from space and ground. Kate felt the information flowing into her mind. Complex equations, weapon specifications, energy, wavelengths. She spoke them, aloud, watching the scientists frantically taking notes. One of the NASA scientists, Samantha Wells, looked at Kate with amazement. How do you understand all this? Kate shook her head. I don't know. It just comes to me when I need it. Dawn approached his preparations. Continued. Kate felt exhausted, but something kept her going. A new energy flowing through her veins. The beacon still pulsed in Myra's possession, occasionally glowing brighter when Kate spoke. The sky began to darken, not with night, but with something else, a shadow spreading across the stars. They come, Mira said. Her warriors stood at attention, their armor now fully activated, glowing with strange patterns. Kate looked out the window at the darkening sky, feeling fear, but also something else. Determination, hope, the knowledge that humanity would not face this threat alone. She turned to Mira. Are we ready? The alien warrior looked down at her with those star-filled eyes. As ready as we can be. Beacon bearer, now we fight. Not just for Earth, but for all worlds that still shine with light. Kate nodded, feeling the weight of billions of lives on her shoulders. Yet somehow she knew they would prevail. Humanity had faced extinction, before had overcome impossible odds. That was what they did. That was why the Nixians had come. That was why the beacon had chosen her. Together, she said, we fight together. The darkness descended, and the battle for Earth began.